our Super Bowl playbook for getting us from a card table in my living room to where we are today with over 1,000 team members and a major national brand 32 years later. How did we do that? Well, one thing we did was we went through the 5 stages of business. Most businesses do, by the way. And that's how we were able to identify the 5 stages of business. Your first stage is you're a treadmill operator. Feel like you're on a treadmill, right? You're all by yourself. You're the CEO, the chief everything officer. And the problem that you've got to overcome there is too much of the business relies on you. You kind of own your job rather than own a business. And usually it's a pretty small company. Usually it's at the beginning. But it's very often it's a 1 or a 2-person show, that kind of deal. And so if you get the business to where, with delegation and time management, proper hiring and budgeting, to where it doesn't all rely on you, then you move up to the next stage, which is the Pathfinder stage. The thing holding you back at the Pathfinder stage is a lack of clear direction. You've just been stepping and fetching and throwing. And it's a lot of chaos. And that lack of direction, it means you need to put in place some mission, vision, some core values, some role clarity, lots of communication. You'd start doing things like weekly team meetings. You develop KRAs, and everybody starts to realize, oh, this train is going in this direction. When you get that happening, then you move to the 3rd stage of business, the trailblazer stage. And trailblazer stage is where you've got other people helping you get stuff done, but you're the only leader in the place. This is where you start developing your first layer of real leadership. You lack the leaders and the plan to scale your business. Because here's the deal. There's all kinds of indications. Moses, when he was managing the children of Israel, after the parting of the Red Sea, they're wandering in the desert. His brother-in-law Jethro comes to him, and there's a whole org chart that comes out of this, because Moses trying to do the whole thing by himself. There's 1 million people, 1 million to 1.2 million. Org chart comes out of that on how to govern people that size, and it ends up with about a 1-to-5, 1-to-7 ratio on management. By the way, the military will tell you it's very difficult to manage more than 1-to-5 or 1-to-7. And so when you got 40 people and you're the only leader in the place, you are definitely in the trailblazer stage. You be stuck, baby. You need to raise up some other leaders, hire in some other leaders, get some other people that are doing things with the other teams while you're not there, and that enables you to level up and move to the 4th stage, the peak performer stage. Now, this stage is really fun because there's usually a lot of money involved here. You hit the peak performer stage, it's peak, and you're making bank usually. You can make good money at the other, but this starts to be like serious scale money. This is fun. But the problem here is you get really good at scale. You start developing your mission, your vision, your team's humming, and the whole place can become a little complacent, and you can too, a little too comfortable. So how do we light the place up? How do we stick a cattle prod and get people moving again? How do you get them moving again? You recommit to mission. You reflect and respond. You inspire team. You make proactive disruptions. You break things before they're broken. And you do helpful exercises and implement learnings. You're constantly adding new and vocabulary and books to read to the place, all of this. So we disrupt the comfort. And then you'll move to the 5th stage, which is where we are today at Ramsey, the legacy builder stage. And the legacy builder is where you need a succession plan, but you probably don't have one. By the way, if you are a family business and you don't have your succession plan fully developed, or you haven't started it, you're too late. You should start right now. It's never too early to start working on succession. Will Jr. was just born. I don't care. It's time for you to start thinking about how this is going to function without you someday. What's the legacy? So building out that succession plan, leadership transfer, reputation transfer, legal transfer, financial transfer. How are we going to transfer? How does this business survive when you're not there? You're going to sell it. You're going to hand it off to family. You're going to sell it to family. I don't care what you do. It's yours. But you do need a freaking plan. Those are the 5 stages of business and what it takes to level up as you go along. We'll talk about those for the rest of the time you listen to this show, because that's how the process works. There's not a set amount of time. but there are set things that have to happen for you to level up. Annie is in Cincinnati. Hi, Annie. Welcome to the Entre Leadership Podcast. What's up?
Thank you. Thank you for taking my call. I'm so excited to talk to you.
Well, I'm excited to talk to you. How can we help?
Yeah, that's cool. So I am the owner of a kitchen and bath design business in Cincinnati, Ohio, and we have a team of 3, including myself. And I'm the lead designer and provide about 96% of the sales revenue, which is currently at $3 million.
Wow.
So my question is, how do I begin transitioning from working in my business, because I'm still doing the majority of the sales, so it's hard for me to find the time to work on my business.
Mm-hmm.
And we continue to grow every year. So I know I have to do something, and I'm just not sure how to transition that with me producing the amount of sales that I produce for the company.
Mm-hmm. Well, you are definitely a treadmill operator, and you're amazing. Congratulations. This is very, very cool. I mean, if you're going to own your own job, you ought to make $3 million. That's great. I mean, that's pretty stinking incredible. So very, very well done. So here's the problem you're going to run into, and you have already run into it. That's why you're asking the question. You've realized intellectually that there's a logistical end to this. There's only so much production you can do.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you either are going to keep doing what you're doing, or you're going to sacrifice some of your production time to train 2 more designers.
Right.
With the belief that as I train them to do it the way I demand it be done in excellence, because it's got my freaking name on it, and I'm not going to let stuff go out of here that's crap. We didn't get here doing that. We got here being excellent, and we're going to be excellent. Well, all of that's got to be in there, right? I'm not asking you to hand it down to somebody who's half-butt, in other words. But you got to train them, and they got to be able to finish your sentences, and they got to think like you think, and they got to be able to bring the freaking water. I mean, we got to put the ball in the end zone, score the touchdowns, boys and girls. This is real. Okay, so I'm not. In other words, I'm fine of high expectations on these designers, and don't delegate to them until they have proven to you, with you looking over their shoulder, and you're a micromanager. No, I'm a trainer. Until you know what the flip you're doing, you're not worthy of delegation. And so you can bring in excellent designers, but they don't do it your way. They got to be able to do it the Annie way. Got to have the Annie look to it, because that's the secret sauce that brought us here. And so that's the way it is around here.